best. You've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com, the Chris Voss Show.com. Hey, we're coming here with another great podcast. Oh my gosh, you just tuned in for another show of the Chris Voss Show Podcast. Wow, lucky you. You've hit the lottery and gold mine. Your life will be changed forevermore just by listening to this episode. So thank you for coming by. To see the video version of the most amazing interview we're going to be doing today with a brilliant app, you can go to youtube.com/Chris Voss. You can also see us and find us in various groups and, of course, our profiles, Chris Voss and Chris Voss Show on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're all over those places, and we're also on Clubhouse as well. So there you go. Check us out on all those different facets. Today, we have a most amazing guest on, and he's the creator of a brilliant new app. He's the co-founder, to see if I can get my titles right as I jumble my vocabulary. His name is John Corcoran. He is a guy who is building an insanely quick bonding app between new friends, and that is the passion that he loves. He's the co-founder and CEO of Cinemeet. Cinemeet. You can say it, Cinemeet. I'll ask him in a second if I'm getting this right. An app he thinks can become the highest grossing app on the App Store. Welcome to the show, John. How are you?
I'm very good. Thanks for having me, Chris.
And I was having a little fun with the name. Is it Cinemeet or Cinemeet?
It's Cinemeet, but I'm a Swede, so you can educate me on the exact pronunciation.
I was actually having some fun with it because now people are thinking about it and everything. They're like, so what is it? And they're hopefully Googling it right now. Give us the .coms where people can go look you up on the interwebs and download the app, of course, as well. Sure.
So the app is called Cinemeet. It's spelled like cinema and meeting somebody. So Cinemeet. You can search on App Store. It's only on iOS so far. You can also go to cinemeet.com. So that's CINEMEET.com, or search for the same on App Store. That's how you find it.
Really cool. It's got a nice, beautiful red, like a camera, I guess, video camera sort of thing, or old style video camera player.
Kind of like a projector. That's the idea. Some people say it looks. You're talking about the icon. Some people say it looks like two people hanging out. So I didn't.
Well, that's good. That. You guys. So that was just kind of an accidental thing that happened with that.
Yes.
So give us an overview of the app, what it does and how it does it, and then we'll get into a little bit more about you. Sure.
So, I mean, I'll start where the idea comes from. I used to live in Stockholm. That's where I'm from, or Sweden at least. And I'd come home to an empty apartment every night after work. And it was because I didn't know too many people in town. I was new. And that sucks. So started asking girls to meet me using various dating apps, and I struggled to have a single meeting. Then the idea popped up in mind that, hey, I should ask these girls to meet me at the movies. And as soon as I started doing that, I had girls responding. And frankly, like most of the girls that I asked to meet me at the movies, they said yes. So in a few weeks, I'd met with probably a dozen different girls, very casual meetings. There was zero romance of all these meetings. And I was already doing product design or working on mobile apps for other companies and as a consultant. And that's where the initial idea of creating the app Cinemeet came about.
That's pretty darn awesome. And this is a great way to meet people because there's like a rapport based upon what you have with your video app, where people, hey, do you like The Godfather? I like The Godfather. Let's watch The Godfather together. I didn't know. Some people are into thrillers, some people are into dramas, some people are into comedies. And so you can kind of find that kind of nuance between each other where you're like, hey, we both like the same thing. We like the same movies. And that probably makes for a better relationship, because if I've been in relationships where if you hate each other's movies, it's probably not going to work out, right?
Yeah, that can be tough. But yeah, that's very much the premise. It breaks barriers. That's how I like to see it. You send something, and that all of a sudden, like, you don't care about the other person's Instagram photos, or what that person does for work. You're interested in the narrative of the story of the the story of whatever has been shared. So on Cinemeet, you can suggest movies, or you can suggest shows off of YouTube. So that could be shows from YouTube personalities, or anything on YouTube, basically.
Yeah, that's pretty darn cool. So give us a rundown on how the app, you've got a swipe function, kind of like a Tinder. What are some other aspects of the app that you have on there?
Yep. So the main content is sort of people. You want to meet somebody, then the content becomes kind of the vehicle for having an experience with someone. So using the app right now, it very much resembles a dating app. But as soon as you swipe somebody and you either match with that person, or you send an instant movie suggestion, which is what we call it, you're asked to suggest something to watch. So you get a vast selection of different content that you can watch with that person. You hit that, you can see a trailer, read a blurb, and then you go on to suggesting that to that person, and that creates a new chat, and that person can respond to it. So you then have a conversation via chat, and you get acquainted. Normally these conversations are about what's been shared. And it'll be like, yeah, I've been meaning to watch this movie, or yeah, I find this very interesting. And from there, a good organic conversation will spin off, and eventually they'll find themselves watching it. And some, if you're suggesting a movie, it might actually be something that will take a while to watch. So there might be a bit of planning on when you're going to watch it. Whereas if it's something shorter, you can watch it right there and then.
And this is one of the interesting things about this that I really like, because, sometimes if you're dating, you're looking at people's profiles and they're like, I like butterflies and rainbows. And you're just like, what do I do with that? Like, there's not much to build on, especially for like me, a guy, where I'm just like, rainbows are cool too. That's all I got.
Yeah.
And with a movie, that's something that people are really passionate about. And it's really a depth where, you can talk about all the aspects of a movie, the characters, the plot lines, maybe Easter eggs and stuff. I remember one time I had a friend call me up and I'd recommended Fight Club to him. And he goes, did you see all the subliminal Fight Club stuff that was in the movie? And I'm like, no, I did not. So I went back and watched it. But I think this is really wonderful, because half the time when you're meeting somebody, at least when we used to meet in the old days, the old timey days, you'd take a girl to dinner, and if things were going well, you'd take her to the movies. That was the thing. Go to the movies. I feel really old right now. And so during the movie, you have a good time, you're getting rapport, you're kind of feeling each other out, getting to know, who this person is. Your whole beings or energy is kind of like, what was this? And are we compatible? But, then you're enjoying the movie. You're finding a laugh at the same things. You like the same things, or you're scared of the same things. And it's fun. It helps break down that ice of, especially like a first date. So I thought it was really interesting how you're saying it worked out better for dating that way than, doing the Tinder thing.
Yeah. And then too, like, an interesting thing is we totally do not consider this a dating app. We call it like casual dating. There's actually a lack of good words to describe it, but it turns out if you look into different research, most of the people that are on dating apps, they're actually looking for entertainment. Mm-hmm. And what's more interesting than meeting with somebody new? That's gonna, it's a thrill ride. So yeah, totally agree. It's that's why I've spent a ton of money and a lot of time building this thing.
Yeah, I really like the concept of it, because it's, if I can see, hey, a girl's really into the movie and stuff. So when you open up the app, and is this available on Android as well?
It's only on iOS so far.
Only on iOS so far.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. So you have, when you first enter in, you've got to enter like 3 movies maybe that you want to see, and you guys queue up some movies that I guess kind of get a correlation of what sort of movies you're into and you like to have. Is that correct?
Yeah, you select a number of movies when you first sign up with the app, so that gets added to your watch list, and then you can add more things to your watch list as you go about using the app.
So you've got a questionnaire of, if I made a movie, what would it be? If I could be any movie snack in the world, that it was be. This was kind of interesting that I found with the app too.
We ask a lot of stupid questions, and then you can actually apply a lot of stupid filters too when you're discovering people. So you can filter people based on their snack preferences or their favorite drinks.
This is pretty cool. You can search by movies. You can have chats with people if you want to chat with them back and forth. You can flip left or right through profiles. There's even a map feature. And let's see what else. You can see what they like. And if you like the same that they like, you can do filters. And there was something else I wanted to get to. What was funny was you guys even have in here, so you can't find it, I'm still learning it. You guys even have in here like your favorite snacks. So if you're a buttered popcorn person like I am, you can see the people who like buttered popcorn.
That's no, I can guarantee you there's no other app where you can filter people from 62 different countries based on buttery popcorn.
There you go. You even have vegan snacks, which are good. So if someone's a vegan, they can find a fellow vegan and do that. You know, like if I meet someone in the app and I'm like, oh, I like butter popcorn, and then they have like fruits and nuts, I'm like, it's not going to work out, honey. It's just not going to work out.
The funny thing is, like, some people seriously feel that way.
I'm sure,
and then there's something to it too. I mean, it's not super scientific, but it gives you cues.
Yeah, and then even ask you, are you a soda, a water, juice, or smoothie person, beer, cocktails, or coffee and tea? So you can really dial in what you like. You can even dial in the streaming service that you prefer. So if Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Showtime, Amazon Prime Video, or other. So that kind of helps too. If you want to watch with somebody, maybe, you know, you're both in quarantine with the coronavirus, you can find people that have the same channel, because nothing sucks when you're like, hey, you want to watch that Netflix show with me? And they're like, oh, I don't have a subscription, I'm on HBO. So you can find and correlate all that. So I like how this all maps up, and you guys ask really good questions. One of the best, weirdest, funniest scenes I ever saw. Like, these are really good questions that draw people out. They're descriptive, and you can kind of, if you're using this to find someone to watch movies with, hang out, or get to know better, you can go, oh man, they like the same thing I did. They like the favorite scene that I liked as well. I like that.
It's you can bring up some old scenes, old memories. My favorite, I mean, one of the scenes I love to think about is Anchorman 2, when he's like in that fast food restaurant and he's talking about the chicken wings being made out of bats, and it's just a hilarious scene.
Yeah. And so you can find somebody who likes the same things you do. And a lot of couples, I mean, they watch movies together. Like, you know, that used to be, that's the big thing. Yeah. Your girlfriend's like, hey man, I want to watch 50 Shades of Grey or something romantic, or, you know, whatever action movie or something like that. You know, you can sit down, program it out. And so this is a good core block, because like I say, I've been in relationships where she likes Lifetime TV dramas and I want to claw my face off if I have to watch them. So, and I'm not judging, I'm just saying that's my personal thing. I'd rather watch like Die Hard, you know, that sort of thing. So you know, the relationship won't work out, so I need to go find some women who like Die Hard. That's clearly it, and I can do that through your app. And what else? What are some of the things that you hope come from what you guys are developing here and what you guys are building?
The finest thing, I think, is connecting people. So in our world, you know, the past 200 years, we've just been more and more kind of, you know, clammed into these small living boxes, call it apartments. And now, things are just like rapidly, we're moving online and we're not really bonding. So if we can, I don't think it's a fix all, but if we can have people genuinely bond around movies or bond around shows, I think that's a beautiful thing. And that's pretty much that's the highest goal, or the best value we can create for people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what are your goals to do with the App Store? How far are you hoping to go with this, and what do you want to attain?
No, we're pitching investors, and then, you're asking it yourself too as a founder, like, how far can I take it? And because we are kind of in the intersection between putting people together, so another social app, and we're also dealing with premium content, I think we're in a very good position to rival some of the highest grossing apps on App Store. And our goal is to become the highest grossing app on App Store.
There you go. Go for it, guys. Download it, check it out. I think this is brilliant. And a lot of people that are young nowadays, they really have trouble figuring out how to meet someone, how to gain rapport. There's a lot of people who struggle with dating because they don't have some of the skills that I had. We started dating and chasing girls when we were like 10 and 16. And we get on the party chat and be like, yeah, girls. And we're like, we don't know what we do with them, but they're kind of interesting. But I started dating, I think when I was 16 or 17, something like that. But generally, a lot of people nowadays, they have a hard time because those apps are just so what's the word I'm looking for? Like, kind of disconnected. You go through
crowded. Yeah.
It's crowded too.
Yeah, and disconnected is a good word there.
Yeah. One of the problems I have is like you say, there's nothing sometimes in their profiles to work from. You're like, I like blueberries, flowers, and rainbows. You're like, I got nothing.
And then too, what's the end objective? It's with take any app where you're supposed to meet people and there's no clear objective. It's like you get this brain F. It's like, what am I going to do now? Yeah. So we take that out. That's a huge part.
Yeah, I love this. I think it's brilliant, and it gives you a way to meet people. I used to love to go to movies with dates. In fact, sometimes if I wanted to go see a movie, I'd go find a date, and I really didn't. I was like, if something works out, it works out. But I really want to go see this movie, and I don't want to do it alone because that's sad and pathetic. But at least that's the way I thought. So I'm like, I'm gonna go do this. But I think this is brilliant because it really gives people a tool they can use. You guys have much better questions and answers than most dating apps. Like I say, they're really awful. Some of the descriptions that people put in dating apps, they're like, if you could go someplace and do something, I like to go on farm rides. You're like, what? Give me something to work with here. And everybody's passionate about a movie. They can get into it. They can talk about their favorite characters. Everyone's got their favorite movie stars, their favorite plot line. Hey, did you see this? Oh yeah. Did you like this about the movie? I mean, I can see how this can become a really easy topic to segue into that really strange first meeting when you're meeting someone. You're like, hi, how are you? Good. I'm fine. You know what I mean? Yeah. It just can warm you right up. And so you can swipe right, you can swipe left, people that interest you. Do you find that some people are using it?
You can also send instant suggestions. So you get some of those for free, and then you can upgrade for more. But you get new free instant suggestions every day.
Mm-hmm. Now, what do the instant suggestions do? How do they operate?
So basically, you don't have to match with someone. You can just hit the instant suggestion button that's on the profile card, and you immediately get to choose something to suggest, and you just send that off, and the other person gets a notification, and they can immediately respond.
They can be like, I love that movie. I hate that movie. Maybe they can send you back another suggestion. I don't know.
Yeah, they can do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can just fight over which movie you want to watch, basically.
Exactly how it works.
So this is pretty awesome. I love this. This is something everyone should use, especially movies. Hopefully, should be coming back, of course, in the big theaters. But you guys got all the different online services, stuff like that.
There is, there's one thing. Most of the people that go to the physical theaters are Gen Z, young people, 16 to 24. So the way I see it play out is, and that would be another beautiful thing, is you might watch some stuff on Cinemeet together, and then you actually, because you can filter people based on how if they live close by or if they're in other countries. But if you have people that are nearby that you're watching stuff with, you can actually, if you get to know the person, you can meet them in person and go see a movie. So hopefully once theaters are open, people that are using, a lot of people that will be using Cinemeet, and all of us love going to the movies. So that's totally an option.
Who doesn't love to the movies? I mean, if I ever meet somebody who doesn't like movies, I'm just like, it's never going to work out. But, I mean, movies are the great stories of our life. And so you can find people that like the stories that you like, the movies that you like. And plus you get to know people better because it gives you a conversational piece too. So you can be like, oh, you liked When Harry Met Sally, and remember that funny scene? And it gives me something to ask questions on a date and get to know people better. It gives me some cues that I can take and fall back on. Like I said, instead of those awkward moments sometimes on a date where you're like, so you and nice shoes.
Yeah, no, definitely we're excited to see what's going to come out of it.
And so it's worldwide, available to all countries currently?
Yep. Yeah, we've had people in 62 countries use it so far, which is kind of crazy. There are a lot of countries out there, but that's a nice thing. Like, with movies, you can, because normally there's no reason, there's no reason why you would write to somebody in Israel or Afghanistan. Is like, what would you write to these people? But on Cinemeet, you can swipe, and all of a sudden, in minutes, you can go, you can find people from 15 different countries. And then, movies they're kind of like an international language. So it's very interesting how we can break barriers there.
Do you want to tell us about any future features you guys are working on? I know some things, people like to keep secret, but do you see any future build outs that you guys are working on?
Yeah. So we're curious to try out small group views. I don't think like big rooms or like large crowds of people. I don't think that's going to be our thing, but small intimate groups of say 4, we can do that. So it'll be pretty nice. So you could basically bring on a friend and start watching something and open it up for that. Maybe be more applicable for say a YouTube show where you can kind of jump in. But that's one of the things that we're excited to add to the app. We're going to be adding a feed eventually, and you'll be able to see a lot of interesting things pop up in that feed. So
yeah,
think of it like any feed on Facebook or Instagram, but here it's all movie or show related. So it should be pretty interesting.
And there's probably some tie-ins you guys can end up doing with the movies, like where they can buy sponsors or suggestions. I know there's some movies I hadn't seen or heard about that were suggested in the series. And so there's probably a lot of different things you can do that way, or maybe some premieres or some other things.
One crazy thing is guess how many feature movies come out every year?
How many?
Or that are produced every year?
I don't know how many. Because there's a bunch of them.
In year 2000, it was 2,000 produced every year.
Really?
Now it's 20,000. So it's 10x from 20 years back.
Man, I gotta go check my DVR.
Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. The stuff that we're that all of us have top of mind is it's very much curated by a few players, and there's a lot of content out there, and a lot of people interested in also seeing more of the indie stuff. So, hopefully we can become an avenue for people to discover more content that they wouldn't otherwise discover.
That is awesome. I like the way it's set up, man. It just matches you with all your stuff. You can go through a whole list of movies. You can go through all the genres of action, horror, and mix it all together and find your movie soulmate, as it would. Maybe you guys should use that line. Find your movie soulmate.
But it sounds too much like a serious dating app when you put it like that.
Okay, yeah.
Well, it's just casual meetings, casual watch meetings.
Yeah. So, is this your first app you've ever built and been involved in?
I've worked on 14 different mobile and web app product so far. So I've been doing, it's called product design for the past 10 years. And I have worked on several projects before this, where, okay, if we go way back, I did a lot of really bad, my first kind of, my first ventures, they were very, had big visions, but I knew nothing, and they crashed and burned. And like, I didn't have the finances. I crashed and burned. It was very painful, but I learned a lot, and I got an itch for it. So I'm sticking to it.
Yeah. And gentlemen like you that I meet, or women in the business of making apps and stuff, sometimes it's just a matter of time till they hit that perfect ball. They just find that one thing that just hits, and people go, "This is it. I love this." And you guys are built on a great concept of movies. The Clubhouse app that I was trying to broadcast here, but it looks like we're having some audio issues. I remember seeing pictures of them back. They were serving ice cream at South by Southwest years and years ago. So now they've got a hot app and stuff. And of course, the tie-ins you guys can do with, seeing what Facebook likes are and stuff like that. There's just so much that you guys can do with the movie app. It's crazy.
Yeah. And there's so many people to serve too. It's like, it's crazy when you open up App Store, like so many thousands of apps. But I think that if you really invest heavy into building a really amazing product, and you listen to the customers, and you try to do everything, go above and beyond to serve them with something really valuable, there's always room for whoever does something better than somebody else.
There you go. And it's got a great UI. It works really well, really smooth, walks you through the thing. It shows you where everything's at. I really like that, because sometimes I'm like, what's going on in here? And so anything that can walk me through that can save me a lot of time. Anything more we need to know about the app that we haven't covered?
Well, I'm not sure what that would be. I think we've gone over we've covered it pretty well. Trying to think what more could be said about it, but no, I think you asked me a lot of the important questions.
Yeah, I gotten a chance to play with it, so I was just falling in love with it, just banging all the buttons and stuff, and I just think it's brilliant. I mean, the questions are great. They can really open up people. Like I said, the hardest thing that I have to do on a dating app is when somebody just gives these blanket answers that so what do you like? I like walks in the park. You're like, I can't build a conversation off of that. So you like walks in the park? Like,
here you don't really have to have a conversation if you don't want to either. You can just relax and watch. No, yeah. I mean, I can share some interesting stuff. So, we have people filling out their profiles as like, what's your favorite place, or how do you prefer to watch a movie? And a lot of them, especially a lot of the kids nowadays, they want to watch it in bed. So that's pretty interesting. Whereas people that are not 18 anymore, like they have smart TV and I don't know, maybe even a recliner couch. And but a lot of the kids nowadays, they like to just kick back into bed.
Yeah,
that's an interesting part.
So in a lot of cases like that, is somebody watching at their house and you're watching on theirs and you're sharing that experience together?
Say again, what was the question?
So in that sort of case, do they come together at the house, or do they? No,
I mean, I'm saying, yeah. I mean, one person in one bed, and
So this works. This works great for quarantine.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
There you go. And it's a great way to get to know somebody. It's an icebreaker, warm it up. I'm one of those people. I actually have like this. We review a lot of products in the Chris Voss Show, and so I have these reaching arm posts that hold my Galaxy Tab pad.
That's one thing I'm thinking about, because we don't want to cause neck injuries or like wrist injuries. So thinking about like maybe even giving some sort of like shipping option for. We will get into building smart TV apps. It's still, you can already cast stuff to Apple TV, but We haven't gotten into other smart TV apps, but yeah, in the meantime, I guess people just like have to stack up pillows, and they'll figure it out. People are already spending
Yeah, they're already doing it. So they've already got the arm muscles and the shoulder muscles. But I love mine because like when I'm going to bed, I'm usually like trying to maybe answer a couple of emails, maybe watch some Rachel Maddow YouTube videos or something, catch up on my news as I'm drifting off, and so I have it, and it's nice. You don't have to hold it. You can just lay there and go, and every now and then flip through something. But and then usually I fall asleep. But which is, it's a great way to go to bed. But I like this idea. People can, if you want to warm up to somebody, you can have fun with them, get to know them. You don't have to be person to person if you don't want to be, and so you can kind of just game rapport with people. It's funny how, that was what I always did: take a girl to dinner, talk to her for a little bit, get to know her, go to a movie. And there's something weird about just kind of sitting with someone through a movie and laughing at the same things and seeing the similarity. There's kind of like some unconscious simpatico that you get from that.
Yeah, you walk out of it a slightly different person because you've now gone through a new experience.
Yeah,
some movies or documentaries can really alter you, change your whole life trajectory. So it's it can be pretty powerful.
Definitely. So check it out, guys. Cinemeet. Give us the plugs of where people can order that on the internet.
So it's Cinemeet, like cinema and meeting somebody. Cinemeet, Cinemeet, and you can search for that on App Store, or you can go to cinemeet.com.
There you go. Do you guys see it coming out on Android anytime soon, or are you gonna wait for it to scale?
We're gonna wait for scale. When you build things, it's important to just keep things to one platform until you have what's called product market fit. So in our case, we're still ironing out a few things. So we can't wait to get it out on Android. That's for sure.
Definitely. Android is so hard because it has so many different variations and versions, and
it's mostly about just getting the product to a place where we feel like we can scale the team without worrying about dealing with two platforms. So it's just a bit out.
Most definitely. Well, guys, check it out. I really like it. The UI is beautiful. I think this is brilliant. I think it's a brilliant idea. It might be the idea. I guess we'll see as people adopt it and check it out. Download it off of iTunes and all that good stuff. Make sure if you see me on there, you swipe right. But as long as you like the movies that I like, I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that. Thanks to John for spending some time with us, John. We certainly appreciate you coming in and sitting down with us.
Thanks, Chris. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. To see the video version of this, go to youtube.com/Chris Voss. There'll be a link on the post where you can click on it. It will take you to the App Store. So if you want to find it there, you can as well. You can also go to any of the groups that we have on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all those different places, and check it out. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to wear your mask, stay safe, and we'll see you guys next time.